Imagine waking up to a world where a single tweet holds the power to move billions upon billions of dollars, sparking instant volatility and sending shockwaves through the veins of the global financial system. This is not a scene from a futuristic thriller, it's the new reality of the 21st century, where digital assets and social media combine to create seismic market shifts overnight. Such was the case when Ripple's charismatic CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, fired off a message that instantly became the talk of the crypto universe. The XRP community, known for its passionate support and unwavering optimism, would not soon forget that moment. In the volatile, hype-driven world of cryptocurrencies, bold promises are not uncommon. Yet rarely do they come directly from the top, and even less often are they delivered with such clarity and conviction as 1,000%. But let's pause for a second. Is the dream of a 1,000% surge in XRP's price truly within reach? Or are we simply witnessing another cycle in the endless roller coaster of crypto euphoria? Is this a repeat of history, or can XRP finally break away from the gravitational pull of skepticism and doubt? To truly understand the current excitement, and to separate fact from fiction, we have to journey back to the origins of Ripple and the XRP ledger. Ripple was not born in a vacuum. Its mission was radical from the beginning, to completely upend the sluggish, expensive world of international payments. While traditional systems like SWIFT could take several days and charge eye-watering fees, Ripple's XRP ledger aimed for near-instant settlements, boasting transaction times of just 3 to 5 seconds. Imagine sending money across continents and having it confirmed before you can even refresh your screen. That's the promise that drew banks, institutions, and retail investors alike. Bitcoin, for all its fame, can take up to 10 minutes to process a single transaction. Ethereum, the backbone of decentralized finance, can sometimes take up to 15. XRP, on the other hand, leaves them both in the dust with its blazing speed and minuscule fees, a fraction of a penny per transfer. Yet, as with every great technological leap, Ripple's journey has not been smooth. In 2020, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission dropped a bombshell lawsuit accusing XRP of being an unregistered security. Overnight, the crypto world was thrown into uncertainty. Exchanges delisted XRP, prices plunged, and the community braced for impact. For years, this legal cloud loomed, stifling growth and casting doubt on the project's very survival. The question of whether XRP was a security became one of the most hotly debated topics in crypto history, with billions of dollars hanging in the balance. But then, in a landmark moment in the summer of 2023, the scales tipped. A federal court ruled that XRP was not, in fact, a security, at least in the way the SEC had alleged. The reaction was electric. Headlines blazed across financial media. Social networks erupted in celebration. Brad Garlinghouse, never one to shy away from symbolism, marked the occasion with a bold gesture. He revealed a tattoo of the XRP logo on his upper arm. This was not the impulsive act of a rebellious youth, but a calculated statement from a Harvard MBA in his 50s. As one commentator quipped, "You don't get a tattoo at that age unless you're absolutely sure you're betting on the right horse." The tattoo quickly became the rallying cry for the XRP army, a global community whose faith had been tested time and again but never broken. Garlinghouse's message was clear. The legal battle was over. It was time to lock in and focus on building what he called the Internet of Value, a vision where money moves as freely and efficiently as information does today. Fast forward to the present. With the lawsuit officially closed and regulatory clarity finally achieved, Garlinghouse's confidence has grown even more palpable. When a viral social media post speculated about XRP's future potential, Garlinghouse's reply, simply 1,000%, set the community ablaze. Some took it as a tongue-in-cheek nod to the relentless hype that often surrounds cryptocurrencies. Others saw it as a direct signal, a green light from the very top that massive growth was not only possible, but imminent. But strip away the headlines, the symbols, and the social media excitement, and you find a much more complex reality. Behind every surge of optimism lies a web of powerful forces: market dynamics, technological innovation, regulatory headwinds, and a rapidly evolving competitive landscape. Ripple has not been resting on its laurels. The company has worked tirelessly to expand its network and deepen its utility, forging partnerships with financial institutions, fintech firms, and even central banks around the world. Ripple's technological edge is not limited to speed. As of June 2025, the XRP ledger is processing an astonishing 1,500 transactions every single second. That's on par with some of the world's largest payment networks and far outpaces most other blockchains. This scalability is not just a statistic, it's a prerequisite for any digital asset hoping to serve as the backbone for global finance. And with transaction confirmation times measured in mere seconds, Ripple's platform offers a compelling alternative to both traditional payment rails and first-generation cryptocurrencies. But perhaps Ripple's most distinctive feature lies in its approach to supply management. Over 50% of all XRP is held in escrow, with the company releasing 1 billion tokens each month in a transparent and predictable manner. This mechanism is designed to prevent sudden shocks to the market, offering stability and confidence to both institutional and retail participants. Some critics argue that such centralized control could lead to future sell pressure, while supporters see it as a hallmark of responsible stewardship, a way to ensure that growth is sustainable and transparent. Ripple is also looking beyond payments. In June 2025, the company officially entered the stablecoin market, launching a US dollar-pegged coin aimed at expanding its ecosystem and taking on established giants like Tether and USD Coin. This move is part of a broader strategy to make the XRP ledger the go-to platform for all sorts of value transfer, not just cross-border payments. But for every piece of good news, there's always a counterbalance. Regulatory uncertainty remains a persistent thorn in Ripple's side. While the United States court ruling provided much-needed clarity, global regulators are still debating how to classify and govern digital assets. In Europe, for instance, the markets in crypto assets regulation is charting a new path for digital finance, while Asian regulators are experimenting with central bank digital currencies and new licensing frameworks. As Linda Jones, financial analyst at the Wall Street Journal, wisely notes, while XRP shows promise in facilitating cross-border payments, its volatile history and regulatory uncertainties make a 1,000% surge highly speculative. Even the most bullish forecasts are tempered by caveats. Standard Chartered, a major global bank with deep expertise in emerging markets, projects that XRP could reach $5.50 by the end of 2025, assuming regulatory hurdles are cleared and institutional adoption accelerates. While that would represent a significant gain from current levels, it's still a long way from the mythical $24 price tag needed for a 1,000% rally. For perspective, at $24 per coin, XRP's market capitalization would soar to approximately $1.4 trillion, putting it ahead of corporate titans like Berkshire Hathaway and Tesla. Achieving such a valuation would require not just optimism, but a fundamental transformation in how global money moves. So what is real and what is simply hype? Can innovations like on-demand liquidity, smart contract capabilities, and a growing list of partnerships truly propel XRP to the heights envisioned by Garlinghouse and his tattooed conviction? Or are we witnessing yet another cycle of hope that will eventually collide with the hard realities of regulation and competition? First, let's imagine the most optimistic scenario. Legal clarity, at least in the United States, has now opened the door for institutional players, banks, asset managers, and payment processors to fully engage with XRP. If these institutions start to allocate even a small percentage of their portfolios to XRP, the resulting capital inflow could be enormous. For example, a hypothetical 10% allocation from the world's top 100 banks could inject tens of billions of dollars into the market. Ripple's aggressive pursuit of partnerships, such as its collaboration with the Digital Pound Foundation to explore central bank digital currencies, positions it at the forefront of the next wave of monetary innovation. Now consider the central bank digital currency, CBDC, angle. According to research from the Bank for International Settlements, more than 100 countries are actively exploring or piloting CBDCs. The total addressable market for CBDC-related infrastructure could exceed $2 trillion by the end of this decade. If Ripple and XRP manage to capture even 5% of that market, the impact on demand, and consequently on price, could be dramatic. Already, Ripple's technology is being considered for pilot programs in the United Kingdom, with the Digital Pound Foundation highlighting the XRP ledger's real-time capabilities and robust security. But optimism should always be balanced by a clear-eyed assessment of the risks. Regulatory uncertainty is not going away anytime soon. Each country has its own approach to digital assets, ranging from outright bans in some regions to enthusiastic experimentation in others. The United States, despite recent progress, could still reverse course if political winds shift. Meanwhile, powerful competitors are circling. Swift, the incumbent giant in cross-border payments, is not standing still. It has launched its own blockchain initiatives and boasts a network of more than 11,000 banks. Then there's Stellar, another blockchain project with a similar focus on payments, as well as a host of new entrants eager to disrupt the disruptors. There's also the question of supply management. While Ripple's monthly escrow releases are transparent, some market participants worry that the steady influx of new XRP could create downward pressure on price. Others argue that as long as demand from institutional and retail users continues to grow, the market can easily absorb these releases. It's a delicate balance that will require careful management and constant communication to maintain investor confidence. Yet, beneath all the noise, real progress is being made. Ripple's on-demand liquidity service is already delivering tangible benefits. According to Ripple's first quarter 2025 report, ODL transaction volume surged by 130% year over year. This is not just a statistic. It represents real businesses and individuals experiencing faster, cheaper, and more reliable cross-border payments. The partnership with Onafrique is just one example among many. From Latin America to Southeast Asia, financial institutions are increasingly turning to Ripple as their preferred infrastructure provider for next-generation payments. Moreover, Ripple is pushing the boundaries of what's possible on the XRP ledger. The ongoing development of federated sidechains, an innovation championed by Ripple's Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz, will allow developers to build smart contracts on the XRP ledger using popular programming languages like Solidity. This opens the door to an entirely new class of decentralized applications, from lending platforms to decentralized exchanges, further expanding XRP's utility and appeal. Let's also not overlook the competitive landscape. While Ripple is a leader in blockchain-based payments, it is far from alone. Stellar, with its focus on remittances and partnerships with organizations like IBM, is making significant inroads. Traditional payment networks, such as Visa and MasterCard, are experimenting with their own digital asset solutions. Even Swift, once considered a dinosaur, has launched pilot programs integrating blockchain technology to streamline international settlements. The race is on, and only those who can demonstrate superior speed, cost-effectiveness, and regulatory compliance will win the trust of global financial institutions. So what does all this mean for you, the everyday viewer, the investor weighing your next move, or the curious observer pondering the future of money? First and foremost, it's a powerful reminder not to get swept away by sensational headlines or promises of overnight wealth. History is littered with examples of speculative bubbles, from the Dutch tulip mania in the 17th century to the dot-com crash at the turn of the millennium. The crypto world is no exception. While stories of early Bitcoin adopters turning modest investments into fortunes are inspiring, they are also the exception, not the rule. Instead, focus on real-world utility, not just speculation. Ripple's ongoing partnerships, entry into the stablecoin market, and technological innovations like federated sidechains are examples of long-term value creation. Building a next-generation financial network is a marathon, not a sprint. As Lisa Ellis, an analyst at MoffettNathanson, puts it, Ripple's success hinges on its ability to secure more partnerships with major financial institutions, which will drive transaction volume and XRP adoption. Second, keep a close watch on regulatory developments. The conclusion of Ripple's lawsuit with the SEC marks a major turning point, but global clarity is still evolving. New rules can emerge quickly, reshaping the landscape overnight. For instance, Europe's MiCA framework and Asia's CBDC pilots could set new standards for how digital assets are treated worldwide. Investors and enthusiasts alike should monitor news from regulators in the United States, Europe, and Asia, as policy shifts can have immediate and dramatic effects on XRP and the broader crypto sector. Third, always think about risk management. Crypto trader Ran Nooner, speaking on CNBC, said it best. XRP's technicals are aligning for a potential breakout, but regulatory clarity is essential to sustain any significant rally. In other words, only invest what you can afford to lose, diversify your holdings, and never put all your eggs in one basket, no matter how promising the story. It's also worth considering practical strategies for navigating the inevitable volatility. Dollar-cost averaging, for instance, allows investors to spread out purchases over time, reducing the risk of buying at a peak. Setting clear entry and exit points, using stop-loss orders, and staying informed about major developments can all help to manage risk in this fast-moving market. Now let's explore some potential future scenarios, both optimistic and cautionary. In the most bullish case, Ripple's technology becomes the backbone for central bank digital currencies, with the XRP ledger serving as the universal bridge for cross-border transactions. If XRP captures just a slice of the multi-trillion-dollar CBDC market, its utility and demand could soar. Alternatively, a continued surge in on-demand liquidity adoption, say another 50% increase in transaction volume, could correlate with a significant uptick in XRP price, as historical data suggests. On the flip side, a major regulatory setback in a large market, such as the United States or the European Union, could halt momentum and trigger a sharp price correction. Competition from nimble startups or unexpected innovations from traditional finance giants could also eat into Ripple's market share. Investors should be prepared for both possibilities and adjust their strategies accordingly. In conclusion, can XRP truly achieve an explosive 1,000% price surge? The foundation is certainly stronger than ever before, underpinned by lightning-fast technology, historic legal victories, and a swelling tide of global partnerships. But the path ahead is anything but certain. XRP's future will be determined not by tweets or tattoos, but by Ripple's ability to deliver real solutions, win the trust of financial powerhouses, and navigate an ever-shifting regulatory map. And here's a secret that many overlook. Ripple's quiet experimentation with central bank digital currencies through the Digital Pound Foundation and its push into stablecoins hint at ambitions far larger than most realize. It's not just about remittances or cross-border payments. It's about building the very rails of tomorrow's global financial system. Ripple envisions a world where value moves as seamlessly as information does today, instant, borderless, and secure. So, what do you think? Is XRP on the verge of making history, fueled by technological innovation and institutional adoption? Or are we simply witnessing another cycle of hope and hype, destined to fade as the next big thing comes along? The only certainty is that the future of finance is being written right now, in real time. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, subscribe for more deep dives on global economics and technology, and don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss an episode. The race to redefine money has never been more intense.